Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me on the Zoom last Wednesday. I really enjoyed it, and off of the back of that I'm just going to do you a very quick video about styling. Now, I used to really worry about styling my client. I probably used to overthink it a little, so I'm just going to put a few do's and don'ts up there, and then I'm going to create a couple of styles so that maybe you can practice on the strip lashes, you know, like the practice lashes, and create some lovely volume strip lashes, maybe for your clients or possibly just for you. So let's just have a little look at my beautiful drawings here. What we're hoping is our client's going to come in and they're going to have beautiful almond shaped eyes that are very well proportioned on their face, completely straight, with a similar gap in between their eye to the size of one of their eyes, so that it's all nicely proportioned, if that makes sense. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to come in with slight variations because symmetry, you know, not many people are completely symmetrical. So let's take our first client. Her eyes are wider. The gap in between her eyes is bigger than one of her eyes. If we placed it here, it's a larger gap. So what we need to concentrate on here is bringing the eyes inwards, because anything, if we created any flicky look, we're going to drag those eyes out and they're going to appear like on the side of her head. So a flick would definitely be the one that we need to avoid with a wide set eye. If I have someone with a wide set, I'm going to go with a rounded look, almost like a reverse flick sometimes, where the length is coming through the pupil, and then we're cutting down to much shorter lashes on the inner and outer. I'm going to draw a rounded. So if I have someone with these wide eyes, we are not doing a flick, but we are going to do a rounded or a dolly that's going to decrease this gap here. Always, whatever look we're doing, we are always still considering the highest part of the brow, because we don't want to drag any length further than the highest part of their brow. So that's our wide set. Now we've got our client come in and she's got quite small eyes and they're very close set. Now, if we were to do a rounded dolly look on this girl, it's going to close her eyes in even more and it's going to make her eyes look smaller. So we're wanting to widen this gap here in between her eyes. So the best way for us to do that is to look for a natural pattern where we've got the length coming just from the center of the eye outwards, or we're going to create a flick where we really drag that length out and create more of an opened eye look. So we're going to go with a natural or a flick with this client, just to create that distance in between her eyes. Now we've got a similar client to me. Poor girl, she's got downturned eyes. So I'm going to just let you look that my symmetry is very off and my eyes almost slant quite a lot. If someone, the position of my eyes isn't too bad, the gap here, your client here, the gap is good, but she's got this downturned thing going on. Now, if she wanted a flick, you are going to create an even more downturned look, obviously, because what we're wanting to do is lift these outer corners. So you've really got to be aware of where the highest part of her brow is, and making sure that your longest lash, whatever style you're wanting to create, is finishing there. For me, I'm thinking more of like a rounded, and we want to lift the outer corners. So rounded is like absolutely perfect for this client if the position or the distance in between her eyes is good. If she's downturned, but she's also a little bit wide set, we've really got to think about how to create that best look. Well, actually, no, we don't have to think about it. We go to rounded. If she's downturned, but she is close set eyes, we need to create some gap and also lift the outer corners. So I would be looking more of a natural lash pattern with that, so that we are allowing a little bit more of a distance to happen between the eyes, but we're still not dragging out. So all I'm saying really, after all that gabbling on, don't give her a flick, because you'll make her look like Sylvester Stallone or something. So anyway, hope that's been helpful. I'm going to draw some mappings, and I'm also going to draw the Kim K look for you, and then you go ahead, practice all those, and I would actually love to see your creations. So if you manage to practice or like really nail a style and you want to share that with me, I'll always share it on my Insta story, so just send it over, girls. And equally, if you have any further questions, please just give me a little message, WhatsApp me or DM me on Instagram, and I'll come back to you. Thank you so much. Hi guys, I know I've shown you a still image of this, but I just thought I'd jump back on and just give you a little bit of more of an insight into what's going on here. This is my iris and pupil, and I've drawn that on imagining where that would be when my girl closed her eyes. And these are the under eye pads, and I've put my marking out of the lengths that I'm going to use to create these looks. So for the natural look, I'm coming straight from the pupil and drawing a straight line down, and then just past the colour of the eye, I'm putting another line in, and that is where my longest lashes are going to be. Now, if your girl had super long natural lashes and you wanted to use longer lengths than 11, of course you can. You're just going to use smaller sections and you're going to work through those lengths quicker. With the rounded, this is my most favourite go-to look. You're going to bring the length right through the middle of the eye, and almost when your girl's got her eyes closed and you imagine where her pupil and iris is, it's almost slightly further in than the centre. So it's a slight reverse flick, and it's a really pretty look when you make sure that you cut down to really short lashes on the outer corner. Perfect for anyone like me with downturned eyes. You're going to lift them. When we look at the flick, we are making sure that we're not extending the longest lash further than the highest part of their brow. Even if you've got someone with a very symmetrical face and you want to create a flick and you drag the length right to the outer corner, you're going to possibly give them a downturned look. You see girls that put strip lashes on really badly and it gives them this illusion, even though their eye shape is actually perfect. It's just dragged those outer corners down. Also, we don't want to be weighing down those outer corner lashes. They're a little bit weaker than the main body, and you've got interlocking top and bottom lashes, and it will be very irritating for your client. So take note of where the highest part of the brow is. What I've done here is I've created a build-up of lash lengths right until the arch, and then I've done a dramatic cut down of 3mm to give that cut off so that we can create more of that sweep. I hope that makes sense. Now this is the Kim K, very fashionable at the moment. Like I'd said on our meeting, on our Zoom meeting, make sure you're putting your spikes in first. These spikes, I like to use Russian volume. Some people will use classics to give a little bit more of a textured look, but I'm grabbing some 0.07s or 0.5s and I'm not fanning them. I'm just gluing the bases and then placing them, so it's just given like a really textured spiky look. Put your anchors in, all of these in on both eyes before you put in your main body. I've just done a very short rounded look for the main body because, like I said before, we need to extend this at least 3mm past the main body of the lashes to make them stand out. Otherwise you'll see them beautifully when their eyes are closed and on the pads, but as soon as they open their eyes it just becomes a textured set. So to create that really spiky look, at least 3mm of an extension past the main body. Good luck, girls. Hope you enjoy that little bit of styling, and I look forward to seeing any of your work. Thank you so much.